Hey guys, thanks for joining me again with Learn to Play Games. We're here at Gen-Con 2017. This is day 3, the end of day 3, and I'm here with CMON and Jared Miller and Eric Lang, and you guys are going to tell us about some of the new games you guys have got coming out this year. There's so much that you guys have, so tell me about some of those new games you guys have.
Yeah.
So, would you like me to tell them about some new games?
Tell them about one new game.
Just one new game.
Oh.
So, we have been showing, we just announced several new games that aren't actually on the show floor, but they're really exciting to talk about.
Absolutely.
One we announced at the end of A Song of Ice and Fire tabletop miniatures game Kickstarter, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Sure.
Is Hate.
Oh, I really want to know about that one, yes.
So
fantastic.
Hate is based off the Adrian Smith graphic novel series called Chronicles of Hate.
Okay.
And you're controlling, players are controlling their own tribes or clans.
Their own clans in a brutal, savage, apocalyptic world.
It's not a nice place.
Life is cheap, and human beings have basically devolved into their animal instincts. And you've got to survive by any means necessary.
Oh, wow.
And that means often doing terrible things. It's not called love, it's called hate.
Oh, man.
The game itself is, it's a chronicle-based game, so you can play several games connected in a row, and you get to upgrade your clan, upgrade your village to do cool stuff, and sometimes die permanently, leave a little story. The rest we'll talk about later, but it's really cool.
Awesome.
So there'll be more to come on that. That's our next Kickstarter. We don't have a date for it yet, but we're really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. That one looks fantastic. The minis that you guys have on display are absolutely beautiful.
Yes, the minis are incredible. We also announced Kick-Ass. Which is based on the Mark Millar comic book.
Okay.
And it is a cooperative game where players are both managing their superhero life, their personal life,
which is a hot mess.
Yes, which is a hot mess, and just dealing with all those superhero things like big bad villains.
Yep.
Right. So like there's the villain and a big plot that's basically trying to undo Washington City, and so here's the iconic example I use, which happens in gameplay a lot. You'll be like, oh my God, there's thugs going into Washington City, Washington D.C. Trying to burn it down. Like, I need to go take care of that, but I've also got to go take care of my girlfriend, otherwise I'm going to get depressed.
Okay.
So you got to make those choices, and it's super cool. I mean, it really feels like the comic book.
I was going to say, that really mimics the feel of that comic.
Right. So.
Yeah. Great. What about, can you tell me a little bit more about Rising Sun? Obviously, that one's coming really soon, and I mean, it's been doing really well. I had a chance to play it at the CMON Expo, and actually absolutely had a blast with it. I love Blood Rage. So maybe give the viewers a little bit more on Rising Sun and what your train of thought was when you were designing that after working on Blood Rage.
Well, I mean, they overlapped a little bit, right? So I actually, while I was working on Blood Rage, I was like, man, I enjoyed this so much. Like, I want to do more of these, because I grew up on folktales and legends, and there's a few that I really love, and Feudal Japan was one of my big ones. And so I've been working on it years ago and just been kind of slowly but surely iterating and stuff.
Okay.
We actually finished working on it like 6 months ago. So it's it's been just, we've been polishing it for a year and a half, and it's now done. Now I'm just kind of waiting for it to come out. So unfortunately I don't have any new revelations that I have already talked about before, but it's going to come out at some point. I don't know when.
Well, it's early 2018.
Okay.
Q1 2018.
Okay.
So, but what's neat is since we're at Gen-Con, we have some very early copies here. We got 50 copies of the base game shipped in early for a charity event that we did for the Indianapolis-based Child Advocates charity.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
so
and
cool.
This is great
really nice,
because attendees paid $50 a ticket to sit down, play a full game, and then have a chance to win one of 50 copies.
That's pretty good.
What happened is CMON then matched that, so we were able to raise with our fans $11,200 for Child Advocates.
Wow, very good.
Which feels really good because
that's great.
like our fans have helped get CMON where we are today, and it just feels good to actually with them give back, especially to a place like Indy that hosts such a big gaming convention that like brings us all together. So that's been really special with Rising Sun here.
Awesome. So I also noticed that you guys have an expansion for Bloodborne here. Can you tell me a little bit about what we might expect from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Bloodborne, the Hunter's Nightmare, renamed by Jared. I had a different name, but this is way better. Trust me.
Thank you.
This was co-designed with my friend Chris Chung, designer of Lanterns. Basically, he was a big fan of Bloodborne, and he was like, "I want to work with an expansion on you." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." So this is, I mean, part of it is more of the same, because one of the things, I mean, I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. The game is already I like the game a lot. Our playtesters really like it. So we just want to take all of every basic strategic area that the base game explores and just go deeper on all of that. It does have a brand new feature, which is the rune cards, which gives players powers at the very beginning of the game to help kind of guide you toward a specific build. There's a ton of those. There's a ton of new bosses. Now we've tripled the number of bosses in the game, and all of them are very carefully chosen to make the game feel super different. There's death tokens in the game.
I was saying, as if it needed to be harder. Now,
now there's death tokens, which punish you even more.
Oh, yes.
And the overarching theme of this is death. So there's a lot of cool new ways to key off of that.
And is that one available now, or is that one coming soon, or when can people pick that one up?
Early 2018, I believe.
Yeah, it's 2018 is going straight to retail.
Okay, great. Yep. And then how about Godfather? How's that doing, and where did you get your design ideas for that? You obviously pulled stuff from the movie, and where else did you get inspiration from
just
that?
the movie. I mean, like, it's my favorite movie. Like, so
absolutely.
When I found out we had the Godfather, you were there, I think. When we found out, I was in Atlanta.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta. I wasn't in the room.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. When I found out we had somebody. I was working on Blood Rage, actually, and the others, and Bloodborne at the same time. And my producer came in, said, like, I said, well, I got the Godfather license. I was wondering, which designer you'd recommend to work on. I'm like, you got the Godfather? Like, no way.
That's mine.
Bring it on. I wish I had, like, some big elaborate story for you, but I mean, I love the movie so much. I went to sleep. I woke up the next day and I had it. Like,
oh wow!
It was brewing in here. I knew what I wanted to do with the Godfather.
It looks incredible. I've had a chance to play a couple rounds of it. It is really good, so I can't wait to dig into that a little bit more.
Yeah, and that one's fun because it has a big presence here. We've done some neat signage for it.
Absolutely.
And, we have some roses we're giving people, and we have everyone dressed up doing the demos. Exactly, I don't have mine on me. But what's also cool is it's out right now in stores. So it came out at the end of last month.
Yeah.
And so some people, this is their first time, and other people have got a chance to play it. But it's fun because now anyone who's watching this and really want to get their hands on it can actually just go to their retail stores and pick it up now.
Great.
Yes, we're talking about something you can buy.
Yes.
And of course, the game that everybody wants to know about, Song of Ice and Fire.
Yes.
What can you guys tell me about that?
It's a miniatures game.
Okay.
Now we're all done.
I know.
Well, that's it.
So this game's been in development, oh my God, 2 years?
It's been,
at least?
We've been putting a lot of love into this.
So, it's a game co-designed by Michael Chanel, who's a designer of Rum and Bones and Dark Age and Wrath of Kings. He's a seasoned miniature game designer, and he and I work really, really well together because, I mean, I grew up on Warhammer, I loved the war and stuff, but I am not as much of a miniatures gamer as he is. I'm much more of a board gamer, and I'm an omni gamer, right? I like all games, but I'm centered on board games. So what we want to do was bring a game into, go a little broader and have a game that has a slightly new way of thinking about miniature games. We're not reinventing the wheel. It's still miniatures, all those juicy tactics that you expect.
Yeah.
But we have a bit of a board game feel to it. I mean, it's the Song of Ice and Fire universe.
Yeah.
Politics play a role in it. Tactics play a role in it. Hidden information plays a role in it. So we want to make sure that was central to the game. So it's got a lot of really cool, neat mechanics that make you, even though you are playing a miniatures game and the miniatures are unbelievably awesome,
They are.
you have to think about the game a little bit more holistically than you might normally. You have to think about both what's going on in the field, what's going on in the background, what's going on in my hand, but using super, super simple mechanics. And we're very careful about the types of abilities we put on the board to not overload people with information. So it flows really well. It's really smooth. And there's even one of the game modes even has a little bit of a bluffing element to it, which I think is cool.
Very nice. Yeah, I got to see some more of it at the CMON Expo, and it has a very different feel than your normal tabletop games. I mean, I've played Warhammer Fantasy and all those games from back in the day, and it was all about just crushing your opponent. And this, like you said, is got the politics, very interesting dynamics to it that are different than most normal games. So that looks really very interesting. So now that the Kickstarter is done, I know that you guys were talking about possibly having like a first quarter release. Is that still kind of intimate?
So April 2018 is when it's going to come out.
Okay.
And then there's going to be monthly releases from there. Because our whole goal with this is, it was a unique way for us to actually do a game on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Is we've got it's the initial Stark versus Lannister, and then along the way the Mercenaries came out, which kind of formed their own little faction that you could play them as. And all of that will come out, start being released, not all at once maybe, but
sure.
The goal was not to have just everything in the Kickstarter, because it's all about the community forming around the retail stores.
Okay.
We do have some miniatures here on display that were not in the Kickstarter.
Okay.
We're not telling people what they are, but if they're fans of the books, they could probably piece some things together.
Okay.
And so we're just really excited. We're in this for the long haul.
Okay.
And we want the people to grow with it, build around it, and we're just really excited.
Oh, we have so much stuff in development for it, which I obviously can't talk about, but
sure.
We have a year and a half worth of stuff roadmapped out before, like, we had that even before the Kickstarter. Like, we're all in on this game.
Now, with the initial Kickstarter and the stuff that came out with it, now when you bring that to retail, are you going to just continue focusing on different stuff, or are you going to revisit some of those things like Stark or Lannister and bring out other units down the line to keep those ranges fresh as well? Or is that something that you guys?
So we haven't really talked about it. I mean, right now the stuff that is initially going to be coming out is obviously that stuff in the Kickstarter.
Sure.
And then we want to keep the game fresh and growing. So, but as we get closer to these releases, we will be diving deep into everything as they're coming out. So, we just want to keep it exciting. There's still some time between now and then, but as Eric said, we've got long-term plans for this game.
Cool.
I mean, one thing I can say, like, we are seasoned miniature and game developers. We are very cognizant of balance across factions. So don't worry, we've got that. We've got that covered.
Great. That sounds really exciting. I can't wait to try it out myself. And
this has to make it into the video.
Don't cut that part, please.
So, as you guys see, there is so much that CMON has in store for us over the next year, and this is just covering the surface. They have so many games here at the show that obviously I could dedicate the entire show to just covering all the CMON stuff. And stay tuned to my channel. I will have full learning to play videos for some of these new games that are coming out as well as the time goes on. And thank you guys so much for showing me some of this new stuff and joining me at the show. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, Lance.
Thanks.